Polo to come online, right? He needs at least 2 items before he even makes a difference in the team fights. At this point, he does need the Doomsday along with the dagger as well, right? So until those items come up, it's going to be very difficult. But for Fang, it's slightly different. Right off the get-go, at level 1 with target sighted, it's going to be massive amounts of damage onto Fang as long as he can sidestep consistently against the Marco Polo. So, I mean, right away, it's going to be a very huge problem. And the fact that Shanks is taking it into the jungle this time is a huge problem, because then Fang is going to be over leveled. He's going to have a higher level than the entirety of Team Boom Esports, especially on the farm and the mid lane. And that's going to be a big difference maker. That first play, having huge expectations for Shanks.
Okay, we're going to be going into this one. Of course, this is the first match. Game 2, Team Vitality up 1-0 already against Boom Esports, and they're kind of already winning at the top of the Group A standings thus far. So Team Vitality, if they win this one, they would be in a very good position to make, of course, the knockout stage with the top 8 going to the EWC. So something that they want. There's going to be a little bit more pressure, more on the Boom Esports side to kind of, how do they answer? What can they do to get themselves back in this game? Now, if we're going to talk about Boom Esports, which player really needs to show up this game?
I think at this point, Impressive needs to show up, because Impressive is that nail in the coffin for them, right? If you do not catch out the mortar, he's consistently going to disrupt your team fight. He's going to get you stunned. He's going to lock you in place. With the think inside the box, if he manages to catch the Fang along with the other farm lane as well, it's going to be a tremendous difficulty for the side of Team Vitality.
Okay. All right, looks like Boom Esports are going to focus a little bit more in the Clash lane, sending Impressive to make the long trek up there. Now, Team Vitality are looking to just kind of invade, steal, take the space that's given to them by Team Vitality or by Boom Esports, and they'll take this one on. But, different from the last game where Boom Esports are kind of, Miggy was kind of by himself going up against Nighty and CT Boy in the top lane. But they've kind of changed things around. So the strategy changes have been made. It looks like the call is going to be there. Is that the smart play?
Oh, for sure, because at this point, right, it's really difficult to play against Shanks in the farm lane. I don't think Impressive will be able to help to get the kill on Toshi. Like I mentioned, his damage output isn't high enough to secure the kill unless Shanks makes a very huge mistake. So why not make it more efficient in a sense where we can stifle the growth of the Clash lane, which we can then jump down and help out the Marco to even out the odds as well. Now, talking about Marco Polo, there's a couple of things you need to pay attention to. Marco Polo's combination is usually his first skill ultimate into second skill, and this is going to be the Resplendent Revolver going into the Fever's Barrage, finally ending things off with the roaming gun to get out of the situation safely as well. Now, a couple of things. Sometimes with regards to the spells, you could take up the stun to complement your ultimates as well, but right off the bat, CT Boy already pushing Impressive away.
Yeah, if we're looking at the some of the basic skills that they have. The Frenzy one, I mean, this is just one that's been picked up by Dragon. Increases damage by about 10%, resistances by 15, physical lifesteal by 20, magical lifesteal by 30% for 7 seconds. It could be a game changer if used properly in a team fight. So something to take note of from Dragon when he kind of launches that out into a hopefully a 5-man team team fight. So I think the potential is there, but now let's talk a little bit more about, what this lead means for Team Vitality. They're up about 0.5k. They're focusing more in the bottom lane, trying to get, again, Shanks as much farm as possible. But, is this anything kind of stick out to you? Like, is Team Vitality doing the right strat here?
Yep, I think definitely, because at this point, Shanks, okay, I play a lot of Fang myself, and one of the things that you will notice about a Fang player is the ability, if you give him about 15 seconds or 20 seconds of free hits in every fight, the minimal amount of kills he's going to get is at least 2, because his cooldown of target sighted is pretty short, right? So as every single person that gets target sighted landed on them, unless there's an iframe, unless there is a stop in the ability to hit the opponent from the side of Shanks, it's almost a guaranteed kill, right? And it doesn't help that Boom Esports have Hainoa at this point, because Hainoa is very prone to being bursted down, right? If he does not survive during the Fate Rewind, it is an instant loss because there is no way for them to come back from that. At the same time, Boom Esports, they're really squishy. So yes, they have picked a lot of heroes that have a lot of iframes, but they need to do more than that. They need to have the counterplay potential, but that can only come in the form of Morton, maybe, or even Marco Polo if they can get the stuns in.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a nice, Fever Barrage going in with the Cannon Blast that kind of like lines them up, gives your Marco Polo a chance to do as much damage as possible. I mean, it's one of those things where Doshi, he goes in and he gets stunned, it's going to be an awkward time, right? Everything just gets shut down. So he has that gap, so to speak, where he can kind of get blown up. You don't want to be that first initiator in. And to kind of Hano's point of, Agisics, of making sure that Fate Rewind is used properly. Sometimes in the last game we saw just, if you use it too late, you basically just get blown up and you're going to have a rough time. So you need that nice balance. And playing that hero to the limit is very difficult because the timing is super easy to hit at times.
Yep, so let's take a look at the growth of the items. They have been trying to filter the gold into Shanks. He does have the Axe of Torment as well as the Vampiric Scythe, which means at this point he will have a bit of damage and life steal as well. But I think at Boom, they have shown they have better map control. Okay, right as I say that, they died, but they did get the Tyrant.
Yeah, they got the Tyrant, so I guess that's something. But Dragon down, giving up First Blood, not something great for them. Dragon has been taken out, and it looks like Team Vitality, again, they take one kill, they try to take as much space as possible, and trying to force the issue in terms of, invading the enemy jungle, realize that nothing's really there, so they're going to move their way to the top lane. Do they take out the Crimson Golem? They're making their way there, and it looks like Agisics is going to probably have to back off, and CT Boy will take that.
Yep, you know what? One of the things I think Boom Esports needs to try and achieve is to have very consistent fights, I feel, right? Play around the cooldown of Shanks' skills and Highland skills as well. And right as I say that, they do put the pressure on them as well. Okay, so the reason for this is because Shanks, yes, his cooldown is pretty short, but in any case, in the moments that his skills are on cooldown, that's actually the perfect time to go for the kill from the side of Boom Esports, right? Because that is the moment where her Wheel Away is not active, there is no iframes possible, it is the best time to get the damage in. And if you can kill Shanks, he's not a very tanky character as well, right? If you can burst down Shanks, they have a massive drop in damage output.
Definitely. I mean, it's throughout, right? You kill Doshi on the Marco Polo, and they pretty much are way more limited. Obviously, Boom Esports have, I would say, more damage in the other heroes than, say, Team Vitality, which are a little bit more, more support-oriented, I would say. And they have a little bit more control, right? But Team Vitality understand that, hey, if Shanks can stay alive and just kind of attack people from the backlines, they're going to have a great time. Agisics, he's getting knocked up. He's going to Fate Rewind back on out of there, and he says, goodbye.
Yep, and this is without the target sighted, right? So we haven't seen the burst potential yet. But so far, I am very happy with how impressive he's playing. He is pulling the strings from afar, right? So all of these cannon blasts, some of them might not have been too accurate, but it's one of the difficulties of playing Morton, right? You have to be very accurate with your cannon blast as well. But later, as the game progresses towards the mid and the late game, when he gets his items up, it's going to be quite the pain in the butt because impressive, not only will he stop you with a CC, he's going to be pain as well.
Yeah, I mean, he just hits a nice cannon blast there connecting, but the Blade Storm just zoning him away. Doshi will he'll just roaming gun out of that one. And it looks like they're just going to continue to farm as much as possible. CT Boy has now joined the fray. The Resplendent Revolver will welcome him into this side of the map. But again, it's all about the map control, taking out as much farm as possible, especially from the enemy jungle. here might get jumped here. It looks like he's going to farm uncontested here.
Yeah, at this point, it's really just about information sourcing, right? They want to take this T1 on the bot. They will make it out, but here comes the finishing stroke.
Yeah, not really finishing anybody at that point. Benji's just going to shrug that one off. Agisics will just kind of deal with CT Boy. They're kind of dueling here. I don't think that there's any going to be real chance of any deaths. Agisics will just kind of back off. Let's just see that tower so nearby. But Boom Esports, they need to kind of push the lanes a bit. Put a little bit more pressure. Force Team Vitality to kind of react to what they're doing. As I say this, it looks like Agisics, he'll Fate Rewind on out of there. Playing the hero again to the limit.
Yeah, so they are kind of testing, you know, where is the limit for the team in terms of team fight, and based on the interactions between G6 as well as City Boy, I think pretty safe to say that G6 at this point is going for the tank items. I haven't seen his build yet, but yeah, G6 able to survive in the fights, and that's exactly what he needs to do, because as long as he builds space, buys time for the team, they will be able to come back in the fights.
True, but you don't have that fate rewind. Now it's on cooldown. Now your tower is being forced. And they did a little bit of structural damage. They haven't taken out that T1 mid, which is, of course, in my opinion, the most important tower of all of them in this game. But, you know, again, Boom Esports is still on the defensive. They're down about 2K. They're finding it difficult to just find any sort of farm. I think that level-wise, G6 and CT Boy still on top of the game, but Shanks, level 12. That's something to kind of take a note of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the whole game plan, right? We need this farm to really just get up to scratch, and at this point, the Zero Golem going to be threatened again. I don't think they want to risk anything at this point because neutral objectives are up. Oh, hang on.
Oh, they're chasing. They're going for the finishing stroke onto CT Boy, who will tank most of this one. Benji getting a little bit low. Doesn't need to be careful. But CT Boy with the Invincible Warrior, he's going to take most of this one. Logistics going in for this one. He's been knocked up. Is he able to fate rewind on out of this one? Yes, he will. He gets on out of there. And again, playing it to the limit. That was like a Marvel movie. Everybody fighting. Again, no one died.
Yeah, but now you start to see the perks of Boom Esports' draft and the way they have itemized. Now you fully see the capabilities of our Filipinas here. Because right now, because of the tankiness of G6, he's buying time for the team. Sure, they can give this time away. Ideally, they don't want to, but they will. They have to. But they are buying time for the rest of the team. And as time goes on, Boom Esports will have more and more damage.
I mean, speaking of damage, oh, Dragon, he gets knocked down. Looks like G6, he's in the front of this one. The Resplendent Revolver doing a decent amount of work. Okay, looks like he's going to fate rewind back. G6 is going to be fine. Invincible Warrior going to be topped off by CT Boy, chasing after them. They want Doshi, they want Miggy, but it looks like they're going to back off. Benji getting solo. The Scepter is just barely not able to hit them, and they do survive again.
Yep, so it's a push and pull, right? We're kind of watching a seesaw in action at this point. I'm just curious, super curious about Toshi's builds at this point. How far along has his itemization evolved? Because he will be one of the main win conditions, right? He has not yet done a Fevered Barrage that I've noticed in any other team fights, right? There hasn't been that perfect positioning just yet. So I'm curious because Boom Esports, they haven't shown their full powers yet. And like I said, as time goes on, the damage increases. Toshi is going to be more and more like a menace you have to watch out for. You cannot ignore him anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, to the point of Toshi not really showing his Super Saiyan powers as of yet, is that we haven't seen that team fight, that 5-man team fight where he goes in with the Fever Barrage and just blows everybody up. And I mean, I understand that he's trying to get to level 15 as well as get as much farm as possible. So they're slowing things down, but this is space that's being provided by the rest of Boom Esports, right? They're forcing it out, trying to get Doshi as much as possible, but at G6, he gets knocked up. He gets knocked up yet again. Is he able to fate rewind on out? He will do so. Toshi's back as well. Dragon all the way in the front. It looks like he's going to be focused. The finishing stroke keeping him alive, at least for now, but he goes down, and Nighty will take the double kill, and that's another window of opportunity for Vitality as they continue to push the mid lane here.
Yep, Vitality giving them another killing blow at this point, and you can start to feel the pain, the pressure as well. Mid T2 is going to be taken shortly by Shanks once again. Shanks just performing out of his mind at this point. Yes, he has a lot of farm, but nonetheless, now finally, I get some validation on the items as well. It is going to be the Frigid Charge along with the Doomsday as well as the chain lightning coming out from the side of Toshi. So he does have some survivability and some magic damage as well. But Shanks already finishing the Blood Reaper along with the Eternity Blade and Crimson Reaper as well as the Axe of Torment. He's pretty much the final form already, just lacking that one last item, which I presume could be maybe Daybreaker. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of getting scary, right? The 9.1, like they have two two members of Team Vitality are higher than, all of Boom Esports, being in the 9K realm of, wealth. But this is a situation where Boom Esports have played things very defensively. They have still yet to record a single kill in this game. It's been very tough, and they've lost the bottom T2 as well. And the noose is starting to tighten. It's getting a little bit scary for Boom Esports.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's a vice grip, right? They aren't allowing Boom Esports to step out from their base at all without taking a huge risk. And as of now, I think the saving grace, the silver lining for them is that I think Vitality have kind of loosened the grip on the top lane for a little bit because they want to take priority over this Tyrant, which gives G6 a little bit of room to try and go for the push. But based on what they've seen earlier in the game itself, he doesn't offer that much damage, so it's going to take him a while to chunk down this Overlord Vanguard at the same time to try and clear the waves as well.
Yeah, but you didn't really have much of a choice from Boom Esports, right? There's no real way that they can test it, the Tyrant that is, so you have to take what's given to you. G6 was pushing the top lane. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, he doesn't really have the damage to do any structural damage to it, and now he's just kind of being a nuisance, trying to steal what he can. He gets launched up. He's G6 continuing to fight here with CT Boy. He's going to walk into 4 members. He probably wants to hit that rewind button, but he's not able to go 88 miles an hour, and he's not able to travel back in time.
Yeah, man, that's the benefit of 90, right? I'm talking about the crowd control. That is necessary to be able to get rid of G6. So I think G6, a little bit of overconfidence there because he was willing to go in a 1v5 situation. It could have been a forced error as well, but nonetheless, they're going to try on the side of Boom Esports. It is not over till it is over. They will make a last stand in the base.
Last stand here. The minions have made their match, so to speak. The T3 mid has been taken out. Shanks is just doing so much damage. CT Boy willing to stand up front, provide vision as well as tank, and they're just taking free reign at these T3s. Shanks takes yet another, and of course the bottom T3 is the last one standing. Team Vitality have played this one almost flawlessly.
Yeah, Vitality, very clean, very methodical gameplay so far, and right now it's about the cleanup crew, right? Can we clean up the jungle, please, on our 4? Because Team Vitality, they are fully rich in the items, in the experience, and this time they are hitting their final strides as well.
Okay, I have a problem with the rich getting richer. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not part of the 1%, so I kind of have an issue with Team Vitality taking over everything, taking literally every single piece of the farm on this map, making it very difficult for Boom Esports to find anything. Look at them. They're all grouped in 5. They're holding hands. They're singing Kumbaya at this point because really, what else can they do? They don't really have any farm to kind of, get themselves back in this game.
Yep, and just to make things a little bit harder, it's only 16 minutes, but so we're 4 minutes away from the Tempest Dragon. I'm not sure whether Boom Esports can actually reach that marker. Impressive needs to play out of his mind to be able to save some time, buy some time for the team as well. And if Shanks gets his way, once this Overlord is taken, it looks like the death's door.
G6 all the way up in the front. He fate rewinds back. He's attracting attention, but Dragon now getting sliced by CT Boy, who takes him down. The Invincible Warrior living up to his name. He's going for this. He's taken out 1 versus 3. Okay, now he finally decides to back off with that Cannon Blast kind of scaring him away. But Nighty in the top lane still dealing with Miggy, trying to chase him out. Miggy trying to buy some space, buy some time. But now with the base wide open, it's just a matter of time before the minions start to crash. The Ode is going to push them away. G6 continuing to stand and fight. And he's all the way up in the front. The base is wide open. Nice 3-man Cannon Blast, though. The Blade Storm are continuing to zone. And with that catapult finally going down, that's going to slow things down. But the Drake is now here. The base again. G6 trying to fight. He's continuing to do it, but the base is going to go down in the end. And that looks like it's going to be game 2 going the way of Team Vitality. They prolonged it a bit. But again, very clean game by Team Vitality.
Yeah, what a performance by Team Vitality. They are your